We got Heat versus Celtics game 4, with the Heat having a chance to close this bad boy out tonight, up 3-0. And I have two player props that you are not going to want to miss for this game. Now, I haven't had an NBA player props video in a couple days. The last time I did was Saturday for the Lakers Nuggets game, and I got that one to cash. So I am riding a 1-0 streak since my last video, and it's going to be 3-0 after tonight, which we can get right into. Play number 1, Max Strus under 0.5 turnovers. This is at minus 106 odds at Caesars. So yes, this is a very boring pick. Betting on turnovers, betting on an under, not fun. But the value was just too good to pass up on, so I couldn't do it. Number 1, the value here, as I mentioned, every other book that prices this has this in like the minus 130s, minus 140s, or minus 150s. And Caesars stubbornly has it at minus 106. They've had it at minus 106 all day and yesterday. So just from a value perspective, this play is awesome. And Strus, looking at his actual role for the Heat, he's essentially just a catch and shoot player for the Heat. Now, I looked this up, used the stats on NBA.com. 68% of his field goal attempts happen when he takes 0 dribbles. Literally doesn't take a single dribble for 68% of his field goal attempts in the playoffs. He's a catch and shoot player. Of that 68%, 60% of which comes from deep. So, as I mentioned, he's just basically a catch and shoot 3-point player for the Heat. So the math here is that if he doesn't dribble a lot, he doesn't really have a lot of opportunity to turn it over. It's pretty simple. Now, it could be a bad pass, something like that. But when he really just catches and shoots or gets rid of it, your opportunity for turnovers are way down. Looking at his last 10 games, he only has a turnover in one of those games, one of his last 10. And looking at his Celtics series specifically, doesn't have a turnover in any of the 3 games. If you look at the 7 games on the year he has played against the Celtics, he has exactly 1 turnover in those 7 games. And that was also the first time these two teams played. So it hasn't been any time recent, and it hasn't been in the playoffs. In his last 30 games overall, so dating back to the regular season, he only has a turnover in 9 of those games. So I know that this one is a boring pick, betting on someone to not have a turnover, but the value is there. And at the end of the day, we're just trying to make some money. So the first play here, we are going with Max Strus under 0.5 turnovers. So it doesn't have a turnover, minus 106 odds at Caesars. Next up, obviously in the same game, we're sticking with a player on the Heat, and we are taking Kevin Love to go under 11.5 points, rebounds, assists. That is at minus 109 odds at Caesars. So I also love this play. It is a really good play. Also positive expected value. So Love, he was very necessary against the Bucks, who are a bigger team, and against the Knicks, who are a bigger team. And he was also necessary against the Celtics at the beginning of the series when the Celtics were playing their 2 big lineup with Al Horford and Robert Williams. The Celtics really haven't been doing that recently. So Kevin Love's minutes have gone down. After averaging roughly in the 20s all the way up to 31 in Game 5 against the Bucks, he's been averaging about 16 minutes in his past 4 games. And that's taking out the last game in which he left with an injury. Which reminds me, he left last game with an injury. He sprained his ankle and he only played like 5 minutes. Granted, he had 7 of these stat points, rebounds, assists in those 5 minutes, but he only played 5 minutes. In a closeout game for the Heat when they're up 3-0, I'm not saying the Heat aren't going to try. Of course, I'm not saying that. But with a raw, tender ankle for Kevin Love, I find it unlikely that he plays his full allotment of minutes. The Heat instead have been opting to go with Caleb Martin, who has been phenomenal for them. And Kevin Love, he's just easy to target on defense. He doesn't have the lateral quickness. And without the 2 big lineup that I mentioned earlier, there's more exploitable players on the Celtics offense to go up against Kevin Love on defense. Now, the Celtics offense has been broken all series for whatever reason. They haven't really been targeting mismatches as much as you would expect. But either way, Kevin Love, I'm not expecting him to play a ton of minutes tonight, especially with that sore ankle, especially with how well Caleb Martin is playing. So under 11.5 points, rebounds, assists is an absolute banger. as my second and final pick for this video. And that's all I got. So if you're tailing two of these, comment and let me know. If you have your own picks that you like, you can comment and let me know that as well. Other than that, remember to like the video, comment, and then subscribe to my YouTube channel. Hit me up at my Twitter handle you see on the screen here. Thanks for watching and have a good one.